Hello and welcome to Catholic Alpha Radical Live, the podcast that helps you fix your Catholic marriage while also giving you winning tactics for marriage problems, girlfriend problems, and intimacy problems for men. But moreover, where my main mission is to keep you out of divorce court. And with Marriage Unchained, the art of one flesh, divorce combat coaching is the flavor of the day, while also helping me understand marriage and courting, not dating in the Catholic faith. Why? Because dating is for sex and courting is for marriage. In this 219th episode, how men encourage disrespect in their marriage and family. Plus, a lot of phone calls from you answering your marriage and crisis questions. So get in that queue, okay? Plus, remember to give back and help other marriages by sharing this show and give it a big thumbs up on Apple Podcast. Bam. So get in that queue for some resolution to your marriage confusion. Quote of the day. Let's do this. Quote, wives and husbands, be subordinate to one another out of reverence for Christ. Wives should be subordinate to their husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is head of his wife, just as Christ is head of the church. He himself the Savior of the body. As the church is subordinate to Christ, so wives should be subordinate to their husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loved the church and handed himself over for her, to sanctify her, cleansing her by the bath of water with the word, that he might present to himself the church in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that she might be holy and without blemish. Husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one hates his own flesh, but rather nourishes and cherishes it, even as Christ does the church. Because we are members of his body, for this reason, a man shall leave his father and his mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak in reference to Christ and the church. In any case, each one of you should love his wife as himself, and the wife should respect her husband. End quote. Ephesians chapter 5, verses 21 through 23. Bam. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me to help you in yours. Get live Catholic marriage help Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern, for some resolution to your marriage confusion. Okay. So today's subject is going to be very, very upsetting to a lot of people. It just is, because men don't know how to man up, and they scared of their wives, they scared of their children these days. Today, we don't get anything. We just don't. We're scared of everything. We're scared we're going to offend somebody's feelings. We don't give the truth. We don't get control of nothing. We just let things get out of control. And then when they get out of control, then all of a sudden, we're in chaos, emergency mode. And this is how a lot of families are today. Men have allowed their wives to completely disrespect them. Men have allowed their children to completely disrespect them. And then when a man decides to step up and do what God himself would have him do, then people call the police on him. Then people call Child Protective Service on him. Then people get mad and want to leave the house. Then people start crying and getting all emotional. That is from hell. Straight up and straight out. But what I've learned over the years is when you don't man up, it only gets worse. So you might as well go ahead and man up and do what you're supposed to do and do what Christ would have you do. And so today we are going to go over some things that will help you get respect if you've lost it back in your family. Also, how to do it even better, because for the reason is we're going to start using the government against people who don't want to act right in our house. Because why? You can't hit them, you can't spank them, you can't punch them in the mouth, you can't push them away from you. You try to leave and they jump on your back and pull you to the ground. So what is a man supposed to do? What is a man supposed to do especially when he is trying to do his best to become the man that God wants to create him to be, and the husband his wife needs? But at every turn, we men are always attacked by Satan at every single turn. And what do? We fold like envelopes. We fold because we're weak. We are weak, and it's time for us to decide, are we going to be wusses or are we going to be warriors? And that's what it comes down to. If you, just like when we talk about you as a man influencing your environment, and if you want to influence your environment's going to influence you as a man. Same thing in your home. If you don't influence your home, Satan's going to come in there, get in your wife's ear, get in your children's ear, and they're going to control you. And that is not what Christ is asking of you. And it's time for you as a man and us as men to understand that and stop wimping out. Okay? And so today we're going to talk about some things, like I said, a lot of people don't like. Why? Because people are too freaking comfortable in their house. They are. People are too comfortable. Wives are too comfortable. Men are too comfortable. No one is trying to build a great marriage anymore. Everybody's just going along to get along. And this is what we have. Just think of all the people. There are 50% of the people marriages file for divorce. Just think of the ones that are miserable or not in really good marriages or in mediocre marriages that don't file for divorce. It'd be 90%. It'd be 90% divorce rate. But people just go along to get along. They don't care. Well, this is the way it's going to be. This is the way my kid is going to be. Then when that kid goes out and smacks somebody or gets in trouble at school or gets arrested or gets on drugs or has a baby, all of a sudden now me and the wife want to go into chaos mode. How could you do this to us? How could you blah, blah, blah? Well, your kid did it because we as parents didn't do nothing with them. We keep thinking that taking our kids to baseball practice and football practice and taking our kids to dance practice and all this kind of stuff and, chess game and all that kind of stuff. All these activities is what's going to make them be better people. And that's not true. What makes our kids great kids is our parents and God. The parents and God are the ones. The parents and God are the ones, not teachers, not university professors that don't know nothing. Not these universities and these high schools and all these schools that are trying to manipulate you as a parent and destroy and take control of your children. This is what the problem is. And why? Because daddies don't have no respect. They don't. They have none. Women get mad when the man don't man up, but then when he does, they get worse. Women do not understand that if you don't submit to your husband and your husband don't submit to Christ, your kids ain't gonna submit to you. Sure, wives and mothers, in your face, they gonna say all kind of stuff. But when you ain't around, Miss Wife, what's gonna happen? They're gonna have sex, they're gonna drink, they're gonna hit the drugs, they're gonna curse, they're gonna disrespect teachers. They're going to disrespect police officers. They're going to do all the stuff that you think that they're not doing. You know how I know? Dude, I coach kids all day long. You see what they're doing. Plus, I got kids too. Come on, man. It's time for us to understand what works in the family. And God is what works. But just not putting God in your life. You have to implement the actions that he wants you to do to make sure that your home becomes of peace. Of course, at first, when you try to change stuff, People gonna get mad. Why? Because they're comfortable. Nobody likes change. They're not gonna talk to you. They're gonna be mad at you. They're gonna walk away from you. They're gonna whatever they do to rebel. Or what they're gonna do? Go out and spend money. Or whatever they do to rebel. But guess what? It's not gonna work. And if you, as the husband and father, give in, all you're doing is succumbing to evil. Okay? Another thing, too, question number 1. Does wives and children's disrespecting their husband and father go against Christ and his church? Think about that. When your wife disrespects you, when your kids disrespect you as the authority in that home, you guys got to understand, man, this is just not something that men say, oh, I'm the authority in the home or whatever. This is his mission given by God. So stop trying to circumvent that. Cooperate with him. Teach him how to be a better man, ladies. Guide him. Be his counselor. Become as the Holy Spirit does. Be his confidant. Stop trying to subvert everything, because all you're doing is causing arguments, and he's going to hate you. He's going to not want to be around you. He's going to start disrespecting you and arguing and fighting with you. Yes, disrespecting your husband and disrespecting your father is wrong. In Ephesians 5, verse 33, what did I read earlier? It says, in any case, men must love their wives, and wives must respect their husband. It says nothing in scripture about love your husband. It says respecting. You chose him. He chose you. Stop being a baby and make it work. And do what God, the author of the universe, is asking you to do. It works out a whole lot better. When women and men work together as a team in the home and love each other, become best friends, and include God in the marriage and their family, things just seem to work a lot better. But what do we do? Through our selfishness and everything we do, we don't think about ourselves. He said this to me. She said that to me. My daddy won't let me do what I want to do. My mama won't let me do what I want to do. And again, ladies, if you do not submit to your husband and respect your husband, your children will not respect you. They will not do what you, and respect means doing what your mother says. That's the first level. They won't. You know how you know? You know how you know your kids don't respect you? This is a mama. Hey, Johnny, go clean your room. Oh, mama, I don't want to clean my room right now. Johnny, go clean your room. Mom, I ain't doing it. I'll do it later. Johnny, go clean your room right now. I'm not going to say it anymore. Mom, come on. I ain't going to do it. Okay, I'm going to tell your dad. Uh-oh. I'll go clean it right now. That's how you know that your kids don't respect their parents, when the mother has got to tell the child something more than once or twice. After that is complete and total disrespect. Complete and totally. And then if they don't respect the daddy, here's how that goes. Well, I'm going to tell you, go clean your room. Oh, Mom, I ain't going to clean it right now. I'll clean it later. Well, I'm going to tell your daddy when he gets home. I'm calling right now. Okay, call him. But Mom, can I clean the room later? So think about it. If your kid don't respect the daddy, he's eventually not going to respect the mama. Then what happens? Then he ain't going to respect his teacher. Then he ain't going to respect the police. Then he ain't going to respect the gang member. Then he ain't going to respect his wife. It just rolls downhill. These days in this society, we can't even be polite. We can't even have manners in class. It's just ridiculous. We let our kids, somebody says something to your kid, and your kid just looks around like you ain't said nothing, or keeps looking at their phone like you ain't said nothing. That is disrespectful. Okay? And it starts with the parents. It really, really does. And ladies, the kids ain't gonna respect you if you don't respect their daddy. It's just how it works. Yeah, they're gonna act like they like you and stuff like that until you don't do what they want you to do. Like, you're on their kids on this phone at 3:00 in the morning. The mother walks in there. Why aren't you asleep? I'm on my phone watching this video, and I'll be done in a minute. No, put your phone up right now. No, give me your phone. Take this phone, walk out the room. Oh, now she's the devil. She's mean. I hate her. I hate you. How many times you heard a kid tell a mother they hate them or a father? See, man, the fourth commandment, the commandments are in order of importance because the fourth commandment is the fourth commandment. It's the fourth commandment that God has laid down that kids must honor their mother and father. It don't say love. It don't say nothing about love either. Honor. Okay, so that's two verses telling. Remember, the Ten Commandments are in order of importance. And guess what? After the first three commandments that deal with God only, guess what the next one is? The fourth commandment. It's the fourth most important. So when a kid disrespects his parents, he and she are not only going against their mother and their father, but of God himself, who is the authority, ultimate authority in the home. Okay. Next, does disrespect ever get better with hope and inaction? So basically, does disrespect ever get better if you don't if only you think you hoping it's going to change, or if you don't do anything about it? I'll help you. No, it only gets worse. Why? Because people don't like change. And it works for them. The disrespect works for them. So they're going to keep doing it. People do what work. People don't do what don't work. They're not stupid. We sitting in the house thinking my wife just called me a complete and total jerk. And I'm just thinking, oh, well, she wasn't feeling good that day. Are you insane? Your kid tells you to F off. And somebody in your mother goes, oh, well, don't worry about it. He wasn't feeling nice. He's just in a bad mood today. What in the heck difference does that make? That people are in a bad mood. So that's why they just cursed you out. That's why they just cursed out their mother and father. That's why a wife just disrespected her husband because she's in a bad mood that day. Are people insane? Good marriages, people don't do that. Good and great marriage. I told one of my clients yesterday, good and great marriages, people don't do that. When they're in a bad mood, they come together. Or one of them has enough sense to say, well, I'll give her space or give him space for a little while, and then he'll, it'll be fine. But we never ever take our bad mood out on our wife or on our husband. And if we do and make a stupid mistake like that, first thing we do is go, oh, I'm sorry. And I mean it. We mean it, right? Remember, disrespect is a habit, just like breathing's a habit, just like eating's a habit, just like going to work's a habit. It does not go away. It will never go away. Disrespect, your wife, if she disrespects you today, she will disrespect you tomorrow. She will disrespect you 2 weeks from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. It won't stop. It will only get worse. If your kids give you attitude today, they're going to give you attitude tomorrow, and next month, and next year, and 20 years from now. If you don't, it's like a cancer, but it's worse than a cancer. At least cancer ends. Disrespect is worse than a cancer. And if we are in a marriage like that, we have to do something to get rid of that and take the consequences and ride it out and get rid of it and become the man that God wants us to be. And that is not being disrespected in the home that he has given us authority and leadership in. Okay? Last question for break, before break. Can a man regain respect with his wife and kids? Of course you can. Of course he can. Yes, he can. That is the ultimate yes. But only with hard work, persistence, and being willing to man up and do the tough stuff to get the evil out of your home, because that is what it is. As men, we have allowed our marriages to go all the way to crap. And with that, with women comes disrespect. If your wife doesn't talk to you, that's disrespectful. If she's avoiding all the problems, avoiding you, that's disrespectful. Just like when a man doesn't like coming home from work because he don't want to face his wife because she gets on his nerves. That's disrespectful. And then we have to ask ourselves as a husband and as a wife, why does my husband not want to be around me? Why does my wife not be able to be around me? That's why it's important to become best friends. Because best friends always want to be around each other for the most part. But people don't get it. They think they get married just to have sex and make some money and have, that's it. And then we're going to hold each other's hand for 30, 40, 50 years. No, marriage is about way more than that. And we've got to start learning. In order to get respect back, it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take you doing a lot of things that you don't want to do that's going to upset your wife and upset your children. But in the end, if you do the right thing and man up and be logical and use your common sense and get help, you will see that things will change. It's going to, the thing about disrespect is you have to prove to people you're not playing with them. If with a child, if you sit there and keep saying, Johnny do this, Johnny do that, Johnny do this, Johnny do this, Johnny do this, after 20 times, the kid does not care because the kid knows you're not going to do nothing. That's why people who don't punish their children, discipline their children, people like that, their kids are crap. They are. And when the kid grows up, the kid is going to is not going to be a good citizen. Now, again, there are a lot of children that they don't need disciplining. They really don't. If the mother or father says something, it's just in them. They do it. I coach boys in football, a lot of them. And some kid, and my got two boys, out of all my boys, two of them are like that. It's just in those kind of kids that go, listen, go do this. And if they'll go, okay. And they go off and do it. They don't whine about it. They don't talk back. They don't get all whiny. They just go do it. Okay, Mom, I'll go do it. Okay, Dad, I'll go do it. That are just some kids like that don't need don't need a lot of discipline. But then you got the rest of them, which is what? The other 90%, 80%. You've got to be on them and teach them and get on them to be the child that you want them to be. Okay? So with that being said, we're going to go to work. We're going to go to break. I warmed you up pretty good. You're probably already mad with me. I'm sorry, but hey, this is what we got to do. Sometimes you got to be tough on people so they understand what their position really is. And these days, people just don't like that. Bam. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. All right. I'm not going to lie. I've been putting off for years doing this show because I knew it's going to piss people off. And I knew there's going to get some pushback. But it don't matter. A lot of people going to say, man, that's true. That's true. I don't want this in my family anymore. I don't. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It really is. If people come walk in your home and your wife and kids disrespecting you, it's embarrassing. I've had wives of clients of mine. People come over to the house and the wife disrespects them. Come on, don't touch me. Don't get near me. Don't sit by me. And people looking at him like, what's wrong with her? Don't even have enough class to act civilized around company. That's how we are these days. We only care about our own selfish selves. We don't think about anybody else. And then we go out and play with our kids, and our kids acting disrespectful to our parents, and the people just look at them. What's wrong with them? You know, and it's a two-faced kind of thing, right? If the kid is in church or in the grocery store or wherever, and the kid is all unruly and disrespectful, people look at them. Why don't you control your kids? Then when the mother yanks the kid up and spanks that butt, oh, that's abuse. Oh, it's abuse. What I say is stay out of other folks' business. That's what I say. It's none of your business how I discipline my child, as long as my child is acting right. That's why I tell her if I was when I was younger, I used to always tell myself, "Yep, I got to discipline my kid. I got to." And if my kid get on the phone and call a child protection or police something to come over, I'm gonna say, you know what? You take them. That's how far I was willing to go. Really. If you don't like the way I raise my kids in my house, you take them. That's right. You take them and you raise them. See how quick before they in jail, prison somewhere, they kill somebody, or they selling drugs to elementary school kids. The government can't raise kids. I'm trying to tell you, they think they can, but they can't. The job of the government is to protect the children, which means what? Immediate and emergency danger. Keep the kid from immediate emergency danger. Then get the parents help, and then give the kids back to the parents and leave them alone. Let them raise their kid. That's what you do. Okay? If the mama's on drugs, the daddy's on crack, on cocaine, disappeared, whatever, yeah, the government's got to take the kid, but the government don't do it. They do a horrible job raising kids. And they know it. But what are they going to do? Because men will not stand up. We won't. We too scared of losing what we think we got. We too scared. What's most important to us is our job and what people think of us. Human respect, which is a great sin. And we're scared. We won't do what needs to be done in order to get peace in our home. And I'm sorry, it's not easy. The reason why it was easy for me, and I will say it was easy, because when that kid comes out of the womb, discipline time, you put things in place right off the bat. You don't wait till the kid's 5 and 10 years old to start disciplining them. I can't wait. People kill me all the time. The kid's 16 years old, want to discipline them. Dude, it's a little late, don't you think? So here we go, y'all. Disrespected marriage, how to kill it, overcome it, and get it back. So first and foremost, as I said earlier, this is an offense against God, the fourth commandment. As the husband, you are given headship and authority in the home according to the natural order. So what's the natural order? God, husband, wife, children. It's the natural order because it's a protection mechanism from Satan. The husband has to defend the home against Satan, so he has to have authority. He has to. So Satan will get the heck out of his house when he tells him to. That's another thing women don't get. The reason Ephesians 5 is like the way it is because the natural order is a protection mechanism for the family, for the wife, and for the children. Why? Because the wife has to nurture and love and educate and form the children. She doesn't have time to defend against Satan like that. She doesn't. That's why fathers have more powers and will get more grace from God to lead and protect and defend their homes. But most people don't understand that because they don't have their nose in the book. Okay? Next, your role is more broad as the husband, as your responsibility includes taking care of all that is in the home. Your wife's role is more condensed, but no less important, as she is ordered more towards taking care of the children. Even if our wives work, that's still their job to take care of the kids. But what do wives do? What do we all do? We take our kids and throw them into crazy daycare centers, and then the kids get all screwed up, and we can't understand why. Okay? That's why people today who are learning very well that they need to homeschool their kids because they're tired of it. They're tired of their kids coming home unruly and unmannerful. I can't understand the black neighborhood. I just can't understand what we done. I just can't. We used to be, boy, black folks, man. You see it, right? Y'all know the deal. Y'all know that you see a black dude, the kids start acting, hey, you better get your butt together. Now we just like everybody else. Let the kid just do whatever. The kid, because they know men around, right? Okay. So your wife is the heart of the home. She draws you and the children together as you lead both towards God. That's another important thing to talk about. Women lead the kids. If we do it right, wives lead the kids to the daddy. The daddy leads the family to God. And this is where grace comes from. This is where it comes from. This is where your family is going to be, kind of be ordered the way it's supposed to be. But if your wife is not leading the kids to you, there's going to be a problem. So what do I mean by that? Oh, it's your daddy's fault that we ain't got no money. It's your daddy's fault that we can't buy you that $1,500 Apple phone. Your daddy, he's a pornography addict. Your daddy went around and messed around on me and stuff. I just don't understand today how women just dog out they husbands to their children. Listen, I know men, we ain't the best, but man, you don't ever taint. Why would you taint those kids' view of their father like that? One of the best ways to handle that, ladies and fathers, same thing, is you don't even mention the bad stuff about their mom and daddy. You know why? Because kids ain't stupid. They're going to figure out anyway. I don't care if they're 2 years old. They're going to see who the bad parent is. They're going to learn really quick what kind of parent they have. You can't hide it from the children, man. The children around you all the time, they see it. You don't have to say one cross word about your spouse, about their mother or father. You really don't. The kids will figure it out. They do. They will. Let the children figure it out. Let them see it. And your job should be, that's your daddy. And, he's having problems and, he loves you. That's what a lot of women do. That's what a lot of husbands do too. Every guy in my program, that's the first thing they do. They teach them. I say, man, don't talk bad about the kid's mama. I know she didn't put you in jail 25 times. Don't talk bad about her. That's the truth. There are women in my program, their wives just put them in jail. Now, that's another subject, but still the main thing is, man, the kids, do your best to control that urge. It will serve you well. It really will. Okay. If you allow your wife or children to disrespect you, they are ultimately not only disrespecting you, but our Lord Jesus Christ as well, which severely damages the marriage and family structure. If you have lost respect in your home, this is the first thing we must work to get back. It will not. Okay. So people don't understand, men especially, women too. It's really together. But we talked about men today, as always. But when you lose respect, you have to do everything you can to get it back first. You've got to get respect back first. You can't be trying to have sex first. You can't be trying to save your marriage first and all of that. First thing you got to do is get back respect, because respect garners admiration, camaraderie, working together. Even though we're not in love anymore, so-called in love anymore, we still respect each other, and we still speak to each other with respect and caring and as a human person, right? And I have women all the time. The man is trying his best to subdue and to really do his best, and she's still surly and as mean as ever. She cannot get outside of her mind that this man is really trying to give you what you want, but she's so stuck in her own selfishness, man. She can't see it. She can't see it. Okay. Next, if you've lost respect in your home, this is the first thing we must work together to get back. It will not be easy or quick, as you've allowed this to go on for many years or decades. No woman will sleep with a man she doesn't respect. No child will obey a father they don't respect. That's true. Women don't sleep with men they don't respect. If she's your wife, she might every now and then, but to willingly want to make love to you, to give you her heart, mind, body, and soul, and not just her body, but give you her heart and mind. No, it ain't happening. Women will not sleep with a guy they don't respect. They won't. And if you do, it might be years before you do that, but she'll do it because, well, I got to. He gonna get mad. Is that the kind of intimacy that we want with our wives? Of course not. Children, they won't obey you if they don't respect you. And that goes for wives too, mothers too. Like I said earlier, what they'll do, what kids today do, what kids have always done throughout time, but it's worse today because of the horrible evil that's in our homes. The kid will in your face act okay, but as soon as your back's turned or you're out of the house or you're gone on vacation or you're at work or they're at school, you're not around, they do whatever. They do whatever they want to. This is why I ask men, one of the things you do is to understand your defense of the home. That means your second mission as a man is to defend your home from Satan. Why? Because you can't be around your wife and kids 24/7, but guess who can? The Holy Spirit can. And the Holy Spirit, through your suffering and sacrifice and prayer, he will protect your kids, which means what? Have your kids make the decisions that you would have them make if you were around. Okay? All this stuff works together, gentlemen. It all works together. We must realize that as men, we represent Christ in our homes. So that doesn't mean losing our tempers. That doesn't mean neglecting our wives and children. Christ wouldn't do that. Okay? It means praying for them, being loving to them, being empathetic to them, being sympathetic to them, serving them. Then that's how you get respect over a time. Once you lose it, it's hard to get it back. But those ways, right, I just said, that's how you get it back over the long term. Okay? Because remember, it's a habit now. It's really hard for people to change the way they think about somebody once that has changed. Okay? Next, this means doing what must be done for the welfare of God, your marriage, and your children in that order, no matter how much it hurts or how uncomfortable you become. This will mean you must have the courage to insert boundaries in your home, but the boundaries must at all times include love, empathy, and understanding of why. So what I'm talking about, the way we're going to get respect back is we're not going to be hitting our wife. We're not going to be knocking our kids around. We're not going to be losing our tempers. We're going to put in boundaries, dude. We're going to put in boundaries, dude. And the boundaries work, but the key to it is you got to keep doing the boundaries and you can't not go back and forth. Like, you know how diets are. Well, I'm not going to eat bad today, but I'm going to eat good tomorrow. I'm not eat good today. I'm eat bad tomorrow. You know how it is going back and forth. You can't do that because it doesn't work with a diet either, does it? And it's not going to work with your wife. It's not going to work with your kids. Okay? Because your children and your wife must know that you as the husband and the father have changed. That if they give their trust to you and allow you to lead them again, because again, oh my God, I haven't said this in a long time. This is another thing that men don't understand in marriage is our wives allow us to lead our homes. We don't take it. So in order to lead your home, you need permission from two people. God, which that comes naturally, right? As long as you're in grace, and two, your spouse, your wife. And they're the judge. And if we're the kind of man, we neglect them, we don't spend time with them, we allow the emotional connection to go, we go out and have doing pornography and masturbating and going out and having an affair with other people. We're not doing our job as a man, as a father in the home. We don't put her priority number one and stuff like that. Dude, she's not letting you lead nothing. Our wife's not gonna let us lead nothing. And look, I'm gonna tell you, like I always say, yeah, I got a great marriage. I got a very great marriage. But you know what? I am under no illusions. No illusions. That could change just like that. My wife could become just like one of these crazy wives. I know that. And you as a man should know that too. It's called not taking her for granted. Okay. At first, there will be anger, but dealing with this now will help to heal you and your wife enough to allow the next steps in the battle plan to proceed more smoothly. So, as you all guys all know, most of you know, I have it's called the 8-step battle plan, where boom, I start you there and I'll move you through that battle plan. And as we go through, your marriage gets progressively gets better. And respect is one of the things that we got to get rid of first. We got to disrespect. We got to get rid of it first so that it makes moving and repairing the marriage a lot easier and smoothly, and things start to go a little better. Okay. The bottom line is, if as a man, husband, and father, we want more love, peace, and cooperation in our home, we must gain more respect and be worthy of that woman that's our wife, and be worthy of those children. People, men today and women too, we all have, especially these younger kids like 30, 40 and below, they have this thing that, you're supposed to respect me no matter what I do. Or you're supposed to respect me just for standing here. No, we all know that respect and trust is a thing that's earned. But also, there's also respect as a human person, which means when you see somebody, you're polite. Hello, goodbye. You open the door for somebody. You say please. You say thank you. That is respecting of someone as a human person, what God has inserted into us, right? And that goes even further with our wife and children. That's why it's called the third mission of a man, a husband, and a father is to serve your family to the best of your ability. Okay. So real quick, how do husbands and fathers lose respect? So how do we first of all start losing respect? Okay. Number one, we allow our wife and children to treat us badly. It's called dependency. Okay. Example, they hit you. They hit your wife. I can't understand how it's real cool how parents will let a 1 or 2 or 3-year-old, 4-year-old hit their mama or hit their father and don't nobody say nothing. I mean, actually hit them. Nobody in the room says anything. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. Yeah. When he's 10 and 15 years old and he's hitting you, what does that say? Man, kids learn habits just like adults do. That. And the first thing as a father that it's important to teach a boy, especially a boy, girls too, but more, is we don't hit women. But how do you do that? Soon as that little boy, I don't care how old he is, hits his mama, you look at him, you smack his hand, and you say, do not ever hit your mother. And guess what? They know. Kids know at that age, they understand pain. So they understand that in your tone of voice. Okay. A lot of time with them, tone of voice don't work, but tone of voice in conjunction with smacking that hand and saying, no, don't do that. Just like if the kid walks up to the electrical outlet or the stove is on and he puts his hand on the stove, you would just sit there and let him do that. Of course not. This is why we never as a man, we never, ever, ever allow anybody in the house to disrespect our wife. We never, ever, ever in the house allow a child to hit an adult, especially our wife. Why? It's our job to protect our wife, and we sitting there letting our kid hit our wife. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, gentlemen? Of course not. We do that. We're teaching our children, our boys, how to treat women. Fathers are responsible for teaching boys how to treat women because they say, I'm going to bust your butt if you hit my wife again or you hit your sister again. That's what my daddy told me one time. My sister was pissing me off, y'all. I'm gonna tell on you. So we were like probably 12 or 13, so we were young. And my sister had a very, very mouthy mouth. And so she's always threatened me. I'm gonna tell daddy on you. I'm gonna tell. So one day I was just like tired of it. I mean, you know how it is. I want to just get tired of it, man. And my sister said, I'm gonna tell mom. So I took her hand and I scratched her hand. And she said, ah! And so my father came and said, boy, what'd you do to that girl? I said, Nothing. I said, Daddy, I ain't. She made me mad. She said, boy, if you ever hit your sister again, but that kind of stays with you, don't it? When your daddy says something, it's different than when your mama says something. That's why mothers go, I'm gonna tell your daddy when he gets home. Dude, most kids straighten up, don't they? Because I'm not trying to get a whooping or get on punishment. I was having a good day. Right? So that's what I'm saying. So you never ever as a man allow anyone to hit your wife. The reason why is because that is, no matter if they're kids or not, it doesn't matter. Your job is to protect her, and that's, you protect her mentally, you protect her body, you protect her soul, her mind, you protect all of her. Okay? And kids must understand that that's the first person that we don't hit. Okay? Um, also a good example of this, we allow our wife and children to treat us badly. We allow our kids to call us names. I've had a kid tell his daddy F off in his face. Yep. Or they scream and yell at you. They keep secrets and do manipulative things behind your back. They threaten you. You ever had a kid threaten you? That ain't fun. And kids, the older they get, if you don't control them when they're young, they will threaten you if you don't do what they want or what they say. Believe it or not, there are a lot of households like that, guys. It really is. It's like the worst it could be when the kid threatens you, but it's bad. That's kind of the worst it could get, Next, the kid demeans you or neglect you by refusing to talk to you or be nice to you. So that is how men encourage disrespect in the home from our wife and kids. Okay. So number 2 way is you agree and put up with behavior that damages your marriage or partner or parent relationship. It's called codependency, right? So example, your wife is having an emotional affair, your wife's having a physical affair, there's a sexist marriage going on, drug dependency, your child doesn't observe curfew, or your child or wife refuses to go to mass, your kid refuses to do their chores, and you just kind of let them just kind of do it because why? You don't want to cause no friction and you don't want them to get mad. Look, one of the things I must get across really about this is, man, the worse that you allow disrespect in your home, the more God allows pain in your marriage and your family. The more he allows dismay, chaos, extreme dysfunctionality. Why? Because he's trying to get us as men to man up and get things the way it's supposed to be. And people think it's bad luck, but it's not bad luck. It's our refusal as men to understand what we're supposed to be doing in our home. It's very sad. It's very sad. And sometimes you just want to tell your man, just please, man, just do your best to try to understand what your purpose is in this life. And if we don't do that, then God just allows the more pain. When I say pain, the demonic. He allows the demonic in our life to cause more pain so that we will stop doing the things that pushes us away from him, if I'm saying that right. Okay. Number 3 way that men encourage disrespect in our homes and in our marriage is hypocrisy, right? Basically, we don't live according to our own rules, morals, and boundaries. Example, our wife has an affair, so we have an affair. Our wife calls us names, so we call her names. Our wife criticizes us, so we criticize her. We debate with our kids as if they are adults. Okay? Man, don't debate with your kid. Don't do that. Your kid's not an adult. We're doing them a just when we debate with our child. Our kids, they don't have the mental capacity to debate with them. We're trying to get a 12-year-old to understand an adult situation that it took us 40 years to understand. This is why you don't debate with kids. We're doing an injustice to them. We don't put, one of the things we used to say when I was coaching boys, you don't put adult decisions in the hands of children because they're going to do what? They're going to make the decision a kid would make. Okay, it's our job as parents to protect our children, and that is we make decisions. We don't ask kids, well, what do you want to do, or what do you think? Child Protective Services is good with that one. A lot of people outside your family are good with that one, ain't it? Well, what do you think? What do you want to do, Johnny? What do you want to do? He don't know. He's like, Mom, I'm 5. I don't know what I want to do. Mom, I'm 15. I just want to go have fun, play some basketball, Mama. Hang out with the girls. I don't care. You know, man up, man, and make decisions for your family. That's what you're there for. Okay. Number 4, the reason how men encourage behavior, encourage disrespectful behavior in their families and marriage is needy behaviors assigned to control our wife. Insecurity, which is what it's called, insecurity. So, in short, all the marriage killing behaviors that I'm going to list below encourage and breed disrespect. So, these are needy behaviors that encourage disrespect. Please ingrain these in your head, because this right here is how, once you realize what needy behaviors are, then it's easier for you to realize how to get out of it. Okay. So these things breed disrespect: arguing, bickering, debating, criticizing her, trying to control your wife, correcting her behavior. So she does something wrong, you correct her. You're not trying to be loving. Okay. You blame her, complaining and bitching and whining, verbally attacking and defending. So you attack your wife with an insult, she attacks you back, you defend it, and then you attack her again. Okay. Reminding your wife of all the bad she's done, right? How many women do you like that? How many times your wife do you that? 25 years ago, you looked at that woman for 25 seconds. I sat there and watched her. You like, I didn't look at that woman for 25 seconds. 25 years ago, you held that woman's hand, or you texted her. Okay, I texted her. I'm sorry. I apologized like 30 times already. So reminding your wife of all her past wrongs, okay? And stopping the need to defend ourselves. When our wife says something that we did, if we did it, we apologize for it, and then ask, hey, what can I do to make it better? That kind of thing. Okay, we don't sit there and defend ourselves. Yeah, I did that, but here's what you did, right? Because that never works, right? It always causes more and more arguing. Understand the fear you have about upsetting or making your wife and children uncomfortable breeds continued disrespect and helps them feel free to continue treating you as they please with no consequences. Gentlemen, you cannot be a wuss in your family. You just can't. You just can't. That's why I call it Catholic alpha. People think I'm just trying to be this alpha male. No, that's not why I call it Catholic alpha. Because outside of my home, I know I'm a different kind of man. I mean, I'm the same personality, but in my home, I just kind of let people outside my home. I just kind of let people do what they want, right? I mean, it's not my business, right? Unless you attacking a woman or something. But for the most part, if people want to sit there and argue, let it argue. If they want to go and run across the street and almost get hit by a car, that's on them. That's their life, right? I could be passive at my work, at my job. When I used to work at the post office and stuff like that. Let people do what they want. You see people messing around on their husbands and wife all the time at the post office. But that's their life. I'm not their friend. I'm not just their coworker, right? I could be passive in that situation. But in my house as a man, there's no way in heck that I can allow those kind of things to go on in my house, like being disrespectful, calling everybody names, everybody's being mean to everybody. Everybody's being disrespectful to everybody. Nobody says please and thank you. And so as a man, if I see that in my home, I've got to be an alpha. I've got to stand up and say, hey, we're not doing that. We're not doing this stuff no more. This is how it's going to be. It's how it's supposed to be. And that includes your wife. And sometimes a woman's got to say, a lot of times my wife will come to me and say, hey, baby, so-and-so's doing this and that. We need to get a handle on that. So me and my wife get a handle on it. I get the handle on things. My wife, I will tell you, is not afraid to tell even my adult kids, hey, I'm going to tell your daddy on you. But that's because my kids, they know my kids. It's another thing too, man. People go, oh, it's horrible that your kids are afraid of you. Oh, your kids are afraid of you. You're dang right. You're damn right. When my kids are 17 and below, yes, they are afraid of me. You know why? Because I'm trying to get my boys to 25 years old and above. I got black boys, and I can't be letting them just act any old kind of way. So when they out there in the world and they get ready to do something stupid, they go, "Oh man, my daddy ain't gonna like that one." And that's how it used to be, dude. Before all this relativism, free love, and all that kind of crap, everybody do what you want to do. Yes, the way people used to protect their children, and if fathers had to do what they had to do to keep their kids safe by saying, "Look, if you do that, if I got to come in that school one more time, you're gonna have problems." That's right. That's right. That's how you do it, man. But see what happens when you discipline your kid properly over years? They start to do things because it'll disappoint you as a father. They're not scared of you. Okay? And this is the difference between our relationship with God. It's the same thing. When we first come to God, what is it? Oh man, I ain't trying to go to hell because I'm not gonna watch pornography because I'm not trying to go to hell, right? Because I'm scared, right? But man, as your faith increases and your love increases for God Himself, you don't watch pornography, man, because you don't want to disappoint God, because you love Him and you want Him to love you and you don't want to disappoint Him. That's how your kids become. It's the same exact thing. Yes, at first you got to instill the fear of God in your children. Why? Because they're kids. They don't know better. You got to protect them out there. You want them to make the right decisions when not around. And even within, they still don't. But you hope they will for the most part. But then as your kids get older at 6, 7, 8, 10, 15, 16, 25, 30, 40, 50, they start to not want to disappoint you and their mother because they love you and don't want to hurt you. This is why discipline is so important, gentlemen. It's why your kids become to love you more than anything in the world because they want to do right by you just like you're doing right by them by being their loving discipline, because discipline is love. Discipline is love. It is. If you love somebody, you want to tell them the truth and tell them the right thing to do. If you don't love somebody, you don't care what they do. Right? That's the truth. Okay. All right. So we're done. That's part one. And I hope that that you guys got some out of that today. And we get back, we're going to go over review for a little bit, and then we're going to be out of here. And thank you again for hanging out. Bam. Get live Catholic marriage help Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Live streamed on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and CatholicAlpha.com. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. All right, so here we go. So today was basically about, talking about how we as men and wives too, and how all of us kind of encourage disrespect in our homes, what God thinks about disrespect, where God places kids and God places our spouse and our wife. It's very important that we always bring things around to God first. Why? Because I just want you guys to know this is not what Jerry thinks, right? This is not like, oh, well, I don't have to agree with him because, he just, no, I'm not just talking. Everything I go around, first of all, it works. Second of all, though, the main reason is I want you guys to understand what God is asking of us as men. Then that way, that helps you know, okay, if I believe there's a God in Jesus Christ, then I've got to understand that this is what I'm supposed to do. There ain't no if I want to. And so I want you guys to understand that disrespect goes against everything God's about. It does, because it's evil. And if it's evil, it is going to surround your home and infest your home. Okay. So tomorrow, the next show, episode 220, we're going to be talking about, boundaries, how to put them in, how to do it, and what they mean. Now, a lot of you guys are not going to like it because it's not easy, right? It's not just saying something. It's you have to be disciplined at it. You have to be, you have to really want this to happen. And if you don't, you're like I said 10 times a day, it's just going to get worse. And I don't want that for you. I really don't. Marriages, remember what I said earlier when I first started the show, that 90%, people, 90% is like a 50% divorce rate, somewhere around there, a little more, a little less, whatever. But that's just the people that decide to get out of their marriage. What about the ones that are in bad or mediocre marriages that they just ain't found yet? It'd be like 80%. So with that being said, that's what we're on the agenda for the next show tomorrow. So real quick, we're going to review, just tell you we talked about it enough, but the way I want to go review the 4 ways that we as husbands and fathers encourage how we lose respect. Okay. Number 1 is we allow our wife and children to treat us badly. Number 2, we agree and put up with behavior that damages our marriage or parent relationship. Number 3, we say one thing and do another, which is hypocrisy. And number 4, needy behaviors designed to control our wife, insecurity. And if you want more on this kind of thing, there's a book by Dr. Jack Ito called Overcoming Neediness and Get the Love You Want. So Dr. Jack Ito, Overcome Neediness and Get the Love You Want. It's about disrespect and being needy as a man or as a person, right? It doesn't matter. He covers both. I'm going from the man's point of view because that's just how I roll. So with that being said, we are done for today. I don't have any comments or calls, so we are out of here, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out. And we end, as we always do, with the quote from Pope Benedict XVI, which states, "Society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort. You were made for greatness." Now, go forth, Christian soldier. The spiritual fight is up on you. Fast, pray, and prepare for battle. Thank you for listening in today. If what you heard helped you in any way and you would like more personal attention, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior marriage coaching. And remember to join the Catholic Alpha Radical Live podcast as a caller or listener every Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. To join as a caller, dial area code 313-RADICAL. To join as a listener or view the live stream, visit the Catholic Alpha Radical Live Facebook page or visit CatholicAlpha.com for Catholic marriage help that actually works. Bam!